Hi guys, it's the Forgetful Scholar. Let's chat about books. So this week is the Reincarnation love story that I always wanted. Aether Zombies and Spiritual Gurus. Okay, so the first one is going to be The Sinner by Emma Scott. And this one is the Reincarnation story that I really liked. It's an FM contemporary. I know usually FM contemporary is not the biggest fan of, but I love this. This is a 5-star. And this is a paranormal book. And the main hero is Cass and the main girl is Lucy. So what can I say about this? This doesn't give too much away. I'm not sure. So basically, Lucy is living a very quiet, forgettable life until Cass crashes down on her. Now, there's a lot more to it. Involves a lot of past lives and things like that. And it was so, at first it's so like heart-wrenching a lot of points. It's just, I believe it's around 400 pages. It went fast. Like, I thought it went very quickly. I did think that her realizing the truth did stretch out a little long for me, but I still enjoyed it. And I feel like there's 3 kind of epilogues, because there's like a year later, 2 years later, and then like, well, the last one surprise, I'll let you see that for yourself. I will say that the epilogues I didn't need. They were just sort of sprinkles on top. The third one, for my personal taste, I was like, okay, that's a little too far. But I'm not going to take that out. Like, I'm not going to lower the star rating anyway, because epilogues are epilogues, right? Unless they feel like a quick jotted down notes, oh, I don't give a shit about it. Then I'm like, excuse me, what is going on here? But the third epilogue kind of thing, or the last chapter, it's how it's set up in the book, almost felt like that could have been its own story. But I still enjoyed it. Like, it was really cute. It was like, yeah, like sprinkles or jimmies, I guess, depends on where you're from, what you call them, on top of a sundae. The ice cream is still delicious, but it's just like a little treat at the end. So I really liked it. Cass is such an emo lord. I'm sorry. He is. And like, I get it. You know, like, why he is an emo lord is completely justified. But he is so like, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying, right? You know what I mean? I really enjoyed how they handled demons in this. Well, I mean, from the covers, you kind of see it's going to be kind of demony and angel-y kind of stuff going on. I don't want to give a lot away because it was so fun, like, discovering it and everything like that. But, yeah. So I did enjoy the demons, and I did enjoy the concept of people having personal demons, and those are sort of like the thoughts in your head. It's like, oh no, you can't do this, you're lose. Like, it felt like anxiety and depression. This author kind of related it to our personal demons, and I enjoyed that. I did. As someone who regularly tells my inner voice to shut the fuck up, like, I totally got that. Like, I enjoyed that. So this is really fun, and I'm happy, like, I found a new reader I'm gonna explore. Also, this is one of the few best-selling, US Today best-selling authors that I like, because the last 2 I tried, did not enjoy. This one, I guess third time's the charm. I really enjoyed this one. Okay. So, the next one is going to be Aether Zombies, and it's our very good friend to this channel that we've been reading for a while. The Doctor, Magic and Steam, Book 3, c.s.poe. Now, this book series I started a while ago, and this is the same author that does the Snow and Winter books that I absolutely adore. And the last couple steampunk books have kind of been disappointing, and this steampunk universe I really enjoy. So this is MM Historical Steampunk. Now, it starts off, so it's Gillian, I don't, forgive me, I don't know if it's pronounced Gillian or Jillian, because Jillian for me, I feel like it would be a J, and this is spelled with a G, so I want to go Gillian, but Gillian, I mean, I don't, oh, let me know. If you know, let me know. If you don't know, that's cool, you know. So Gillian is basically with the magical FBI in this steampunk world and takes place like 1900s and things like that, early 1900s, late 1800s, so it's like 1880s, you know, in New York primarily. And in the last book, if you don't remember, we were kind of left on the cliffhanger that Gillian, I'm just gonna say Gillian wasn't his real name, and his real name was Simon Fitzgerald, the Butcher of Aether. I'll probably put it below. You know me, I can't, sorry, I mispronounced everything. And Gunnar the Deadly, who is, those two are the Rantic leads, and this is MM. Yeah, Aether zombies. So Aether is their word for like the physical magic that they can do. And Gillian turns out to be a badass, but we kind of knew that already. But he's been so clouded and weighed down by fear. The opening scene, he, I mean, if you don't want me to give anything away, I will probably put a spoiler, but yeah, it's a little bit of a spoiler, so I'm going to put it down there. He's in an insane asylum for the criminally insane and things like that. It's pretty horrific, the descriptions, and Gillian is dealing with some heavy PTSD and stuff like that, because at apparently 10 years old, he was this government force, because he was so powerful magically, they forced Simon to fight in the war, and you know, he was 10 and he was scared, and his magic just exploded, and he killed a lot of people. And I was just like, ugh. Like, if I didn't adore you before, now it's even more, because you were a kid and he's dealing with a lot of stuff, and I love how Gunnar's like, you were a child, you know. We do get a lot more of Gunnar's backstory, and I think it's really fun and really interesting on my end reading this, because you're reading it in Gillian's POV and that's it, and you kind of think he's a main character, but this book kind of shows you that everything that's happening kind of connects to Gunnar's past. So, and it's interesting how fates kind of interweave, at least how this writer is making it, because when Gunnar was 17, he was with the Pinkertons, and he left because his boss in the Pinkertons ordered him to go track down Simon Fitzgerald, which is Gillian's real name, and bring him in. And he's like, I don't hunt down children, and he left. So there was always kind of this thing, you know? And they're really sweet together. They are very sweet together, and there's a lot of action, and I love the magical action scenes this writer can produce, because sometimes it's either like too flowery and I kind of roll my eyes a little bit, or it's not enough and I'm like, man, I really wanted this magic to be badass. But this writer is really good at hitting, for me at least, that exact middle where it's really descriptive, really interesting, and you get a lot of the badass factor into it, and that's fun. You know, the factor of cool into it, and I really like that. And for me, it doesn't go too far either way. The relationship kind of evolves a little bit. Like, they were completely in love, but this is sort of like them being like, I want to go steady, yeah, things like that. I did kind of wish that Gunnar helped Gillian escape from the asylum, but I understand why the author didn't, because it's nice to see Gillian as a survivor, and he's not like he's not weak in it. Like, he feels pain, he feels hopelessness, but he could still pick himself up and do it his damn self, and that's great, that's wonderful. And I get why, you know, it did the way it did for plot points. So basically this series is an overarching bad guy kind of thing. So there is I think they call him the architect, and then he has like mini bosses. So it's kind of like a video game. So like there's the main big bad and then like mini bosses. And so far each book, they're taking down the mini bosses, and then the big bad is this person. And I think I have an idea who the big bad is, the archetype is, the architect is. I have a kind of an idea. I don't want to share because I don't want to spoil it if I'm right. So we'll see if I'm right. I think so. I just think so, like with the context clues that I'm used to this writer, how they go about their mysteries, that I think I picked up who the architect is. So there is some horrific stuff from Gunner's past that does show up. And for me, the beginning of the insane asylum, like, descriptions really got to me. Is just horrific treatment of patients and things like that. So be advised for that. But I had a lot of fun reading it. It's a 4-star. And I wonder how they're going to do the next book. Is it all going to be Jillian's POV? Because it's going to have a lot of heavy Gunner backstory. So it's interesting. It would be interesting. I would love to get Gunner's point of view, but I understand if the author doesn't want to switch styles at this point. Like, of course. And it would be kind of maybe a little bit of a challenge to do it just Gillian's point of view. So maybe the author wants to challenge themselves a little bit. Who knows? So I really enjoyed it, and I can't wait till the next one. And this one just came out, so I'm going to be waiting a long time for the next one. But that's okay. That's all right. And the third one, yeah, and there's Aether zombies in it. So that's why it's called Aether Zombies, because the bad guy makes zombies. Okay. So the third one is the Principles of Spookology, the Spectral Files Book 2 by s.e.harmon. And we read the book 1 last week. So this continues with Rain, or Rainstorm, and Danny. And Rainstorm was an FBI profiler, and then he got sent because he sees ghosts and he thought he was going crazy, so he went sent back to his hometown to close a cold case, and where his ex-boyfriend that he never got over, Danny the cop, was. And last book it was very much like them slowly getting back together. Now this is an paranormal contemporary, and it's 4 stars because this is a series, and let's see at the end of it like what's going on. Okay, so it was a lot of fun. I still love how the ghosts are like even though he accepts his abilities now, and he's working for like a specialized unit with Miami, or I forget which part of Florida, for the Florida police, and him and Danny are starting a new relationship and they're good. I still like how the ghosts are freaky, because they're freaky and the descriptions are creepy and they're freaky, and I like how we're struggling with him to figure out boundaries for the ghost, and it's all Rainstorm's POV. And you see them slowly build back the relationship with him and Danny had, and there's a lot of trust issues there. So it's interesting. It's a really good read. I'm really enjoying the spook of it all. And there's a new character that kind of shows up as his spiritual guru, because that's what this book is. Danny wants him to go to spiritual gurus that his mom suggests to help because he's having night terrors, and and some stuff happens. Like, the ghosts use his energy to make physical things in our plane happen, and at one point something really dangerous happens. So he keeps trying to go to these spiritual gurus to help him, and they're really funny. Like, these scenes until he finds one that's like right for him, like, they're really funny. And I think it's a good kind of commentary, like, hey, not every mental health professional for you works out, and that's okay, you can keep looking. But the one that keeps smacking him in the head to like clear his chi just had me giggling, because Rainstorm, I adore him. He's a sassy bitch, and I love him, and for me that humor really hits, and I just love that. So I'm really enjoying it. I kind of want to go to the 3rd book for next week too, even though I'm like, maybe I should give myself a break and go read something else. But I'm like, I really want to know what happens next. And I like how it's sort of a monster or like a ghost of the week kind of thing. So I'm enjoying that. And like here and there's some jealousy going on here and there, like push that in. So that's interesting. I really like their slow progress in regaining their trust and stuff with each other. So I'm really enjoying that. Danny is a great character. Almost like too perfect, but it's a lot of fun in this. So I'm enjoying it. I really am. And we got a little look-see on the other people in their unit and what their personalities are like and things like that. And we get more of Rainstorm's softer side when it comes to victims and criminals, and even criminals, how like he'll put himself in the line to get them arrested, but not like he puts himself on the line to even protect like a killer from, you know, ending their own life. So it's really good. I really enjoyed it. Can't wait till the third one. Probably gonna read it next week. I don't know what to tell you. I'm enjoying myself. So that's it for this week. I don't want to, but it's time for me to get back to the real world. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you later. Bye.